Hi, everyone. My name is Ivana. I'm a traffic engineer at Michael Baker International, and today I'm going to be talking about Idlewild Boulevard traffic impact analysis. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the project background and how we used StreetLight to help answer some of the key questions we had. Then I'm going to discuss the results, the next steps, and finally talk about some of the lessons learned. Let me start off by giving you a little background of the project. It is located in Fredericksburg, just off of I-95 in the northeast corner of Gateway Boulevard and Idlewild Boulevard. It's that blue shape you see there. Michael Baker was tasked with doing a traffic impact analysis for a proposed development there, which will be elementary school for about 750 students and medical offices with an area of approximately 100,000 square feet. A purpose of a traffic impact study, as the name implies, is to analyze traffic impacts of that a proposed development would have on the surrounding area. Basically, the question is, will the existing infrastructure be able to handle all the additional trips that will be generated by the new development there? Now, to answer the question of how many trips will be generated, it's very easy. We usually just use the ITE manual and get all of our answers from there. But where these trips will be coming from, can really find those answers there, and that's where StreetLight comes in handy. Here, so as you can see, the white circles are the potential access points that we analyzed, like access points to the proposed development. But really the main access points are the yellow circles, the one on Route 3, and then another one on Route 1. And one thing to note here is that the intersection of Gateway Boulevard and Route 3, it was actually already included in another study. So we didn't have to do too much there. Our only goal was to ensure that the trips generated by this proposed development were included in the background growth for that project. We mainly focused and did detailed analysis on another intersection at Idlewild Boulevard and Route 1. The main challenge for this project was how to estimate where trips will be coming from going to something that doesn't yet exist, or in this case, a school or a medical office. So what we did there, we looked to see if there are any existing schools in the area and medical offices, and just use that that we can use as a reference and do a quick StreetLight OD study. The assumption was that any new similar development there would have similar trip distribution. Now, of course, that may not always be the case, but the best we could do. Lucky for us, there were a couple of schools in the area, but we decided to go with Lafayette Elementary School. You can see in the bottom the screenshot, just because it was the one that's closest to our proposed sites, and this is just showing how we set up our zones. We put gates on all the main roads, Route 3, Route 1, and Cowan Boulevard. And then we were also interested to see how the Idlewild neighborhood, how many trips will be going to Lafayette School from there, and vice versa. Similar for the medical offices, unfortunately, we couldn't really find any in the area, so we just decided to use Mary Washington Hospital instead. Again, similar zone setup as the previous slide. These are some of the results. This is a trip distribution for Lafayette Elementary School, AM trips in. The larger circles and the darker they are, it means more trips, and then the smaller circles and lighter color means less trips. So most trips are coming from Route 1 North, and then we have a very few trips from Route 1 and the Idlewild neighborhood. This is an example for the Mary Washington Hospital, PM trips out. In this case, the yellow, the darker the yellow and the bigger the circle means more trips, and lighter less. So most trips were destined to, this is, yeah, PM trips south. So most trips were destined to Cowan Boulevard, and then very few on Route 3 and Idlewild Boulevard neighborhood, none. So we know nobody works in that hospital from there. And after we got all the results, so the next step was just to use some, engineering judgment along with the results to predict which paths vehicles would take to and from proposed development, as if, existing school and the medical office were located there. And here are some of the results we got. So you can see, so this is the example for school, AM trips in, but we did the same for, AM trips out, school, medical office, and the PM as well. Here, most trips are coming from Route 1, will be coming from Route 1, 6% from the surrounding neighborhood, and then 30% from Gateway Boulevard. Another thing to note here is that, so this process and the results were approved by the VDOT district traffic engineer. And what we learned is that StreetLight can be very helpful in predicting trip distributions of new developments, and similar developments in near the proposed sites can be used as examples when it comes to OD patterns.